Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 3 on the, episode 4, actually, of How Long Can We Survive? So, let's, I just started the game up, as you can see from it loading all the tiles in. Not much of a recap. The world is relatively at peace right now. Basically, if you haven't seen the last episode, really what we're dealing with at the moment is just continuing to try to build up fast enough. We're still quite far behind on technologies from everybody else, but um, I would I don't want to say we're recovering from our last war, but I guess we kind of are. Um, as soon as we can, I'll just give you a quick rundown of what I'm thinking. My main objectives for this episode are twofold. We need to make I'm going to focus on building traders so that we can get our gold per turn as high as possible. That's step one. Step two, I'm going to use this city that we conquered in the last episode to build some caravels so that we can fill in the fog of war area around the southern area of the map. If you didn't see the last episode, Pocatello has we got some intelligence that they were marching an army towards us, but what I really need is to get a lay of their land. So hopefully we can get some boats, get them down here in the southern area, and find out just how. I don't know if they've filled in this entire area from the mini map here, but I have to get some kind of an idea of just what we will be dealing with if Pocatello does actually declare war on us. The defensive pact is all still good with Russia. We've redone the defensive pact with Napoleon and with Hiawatha. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice a bit. I apologize that I'll be doing that quite a lot during this episode. And then after we do that, Russia has declared war on Assyria again. That happened right at the end of our last episode. They've already been moving back towards them. If we can, I'm going to basically do exactly the same thing that we did in the last episode. If Russia starts really, really winning that war and pushing them back, we'll likely join in one more time and try to nab at least one more city. This one seems like the easy. Well, actually, no, that might be harder to get with only being able to attack from one tile. Have to be very cautious with what we take. The more we take, the more negative penalty we may get from Russia about coveting lands that we own. So have to be very measured with what we try to do in these next few episodes, assuming we live through this one. So that's the objective. That's where we're going to start this time. We're still working on the factory. We haven't even, I haven't even been able to select an ideology yet for the country. Hopefully we even get to pick one. I feel like our relationship with Russia in particular will be a lot more solidified once we can go down the order route with her. So until that time, we're really God, I'm so sorry. That's really where we're going to be focusing, is just getting that factory, and then we're going to build the trade routes, and then we'll focus on buying that caravel and trying to fill in at least the southwest coast of the nation, of the continent, and then we'll go from there. So sounds sorry if I'm a bit rushing. I understand some of the feedback from last time. That's why I added that timestamp. I have a bit of a habit of go talking a little bit too much, so I'm going to try not to do that this time. Thank you so much for the comment on YouTube, and for the person who left that, and the feedback from my friends who have also been watching and helping me get this started. So yeah, we will get started, and I will check back in with you when something interesting happens. Quick update. We're still in the process that I originally talked about. We did go ahead and get our ship. It's now right down here. We're kind of, we just started, and we're going to try and fill in the map over here. The real update, though, is Russia. I just saw they stationed aircraft here. They're still fighting with Assyria, so I know it's not. She didn't do this to because she's attacking us, at least yet. But as you can see, Russia already has nuclear weapons. So, a nuclear bomb would probably do a lot of damage against a guy holding a crossbow. Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. These guys are flying and using parachutes while we're using cannons and pikes and... Oh boy. I still can't... Yeah, I can't believe we're even still alive. But anyway, that's our quick little update. I just saw that because I knew that I had seen the notification that the Manhattan Project had been completed by somebody. I'm guessing it must have been Russia's then. I just didn't think that she would be able to have this many this quickly. Oh, and they're even past Great War airplanes and yeah. Be interesting to see if Assyria has nuclear weapons of their own. I'm surprised that Russia hasn't nuked them yet. But anyway, we'll see what happens, and I will be back the next time something else interesting happens.
One eternity later.
New update. Russia and Assyria have basically been going back and forth over this one city for the last, 15 turns. And it looks like the tide and the battle has finally been determined that Russia lost, which I didn't see coming. And as you can see on screen, Russia retaliated by launching actually dropping and using the first nuke against another country in the world. On a side note, Pocatello and Assyria have both once again declared war on China, which I don't know how she's managed to stay standing through all of this. She's had war declared on her 30 times. But, yeah, wanted to give a quick update because, for one, you can't really see here if I send these troops up. Yeah, there you can see there is actually quite a large Assyrian army right here. And the other big thing that happened is... for the very first time, nukes have actually been used in combat in our world. So, we're still slowly making our way. We've got 4 more turns before we can steal Great War technology. We're going to try to churn out 1 more rifleman. We have finally replaced all of the artillery units. We have finally... that's a pretty decent deal. If we can ever actually get something to use them, so, we've got 30 defensive packs because now I'm paranoid that they're not in effect anymore. Yeah, we got rid of the crossbowmen. We're able to roll out all of the artillery that we needed. The last thing we really... Oh, yeah, because I sent troops up, now we have to watch the cutscene. But I sent troops... I replaced the crossbowmen with the artillery. Now we're just rolling out the last of the riflemen to replace this pikeman here. And then once that's all said and done, we have enough money now, I'm pretty sure, to replace all, hopefully all, but if not all, the majority of our units all at once. So... Assyria has also asked... Oh, they just launched another nuke. They fired another one. Wow. the war between Russia and Assyria has really escalated. I thought when Russia moved in and started to take this first settlement that they would be able to negotiate a peace deal, but I don't. If Russia actually continues to lose and Assyria becomes the dominant power, I don't even know what we're gonna do. Since basically we attached our ship to, we attached our trailer to the truck that is Russia. So we may have to be rethinking that and trying to make a new deal with somebody else. Oh boy, that will be interesting. But you can already kind of see the kind of defensive line that we're working on making over here. So that's where we're at. That's what's happening in the world. Nukes are flying. Radiation will be sitting atop these mountain peaks basically forever at this point. Assyria has the technology and the uranium to be able to build nukes, but they haven't built any of their own yet. But I suspect since Russia still hasn't made peace with India, and India is also starting to retake the territory that Russia took from them, we may see Russia, or at least a good chunk of it, reduced in not only power but also just reduced to a nuclear wasteland. Even I don't even know if she really gets put onto the pushed onto her back foot. We may swoop in and try to take something here. We're gonna have to prepare for anything. It would be great if we could get this settlement over here, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're gonna keep going. Already been recording for like 2.5 hours, but I might be recording for like four or more tonight. Really want to see what happens and try to be able to figure out if I'm even how long I can plan on this series going, because I've got something else in the works, but we'll talk about that at the end of the episode. All right, so that's what I had to share. We'll be back in probably 3 turns, basically, or 2 turns. All right, well, it's finally happened. It took forever for us to get here. It took me like an hour of of actual time, and we've got some big things we can finally start rolling out. So I don't know. Let's find out how much does it cost. It's like, ooh boy. Okay, so we definitely do not have enough money to upgrade everybody all at once, but we can start at least with the most important units to defend critical parts of the country. Let's see. We do, oh yeah, we have another spy, and we'll send them to, let's see, what country do we have the worst relationship with at this point? Babylon and Genghis Khan have both essentially been wiped out, so I guess I'm afraid to send one into Assyria at this point, that they might be a bit it might be important for us not to make them angry. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at all of the city-states. Maybe it's time for us to make a play for a city-state. Let's see, Prague. Have to try to find one that isn't going to make anybody angry if they go with us. Probably just going to hold on to that spy until we discover oil, and then we're going to reach out to and figure out which city-states in the world have oil and try to make friends with them and put the spy in place to take over, or to be their main ally. Okay, that's the plan for the next hour of time, probably. Biology is almost done. Kind of see the tech tree where we are. Biology first, so we can get oil. We're going to then move on to refrigeration. Going to replace all of the frigates that we have with submarines to be able to defend the coast from a naval invasion. After we get refrigeration, I don't really know what the strategy ahead is going to be as to technologies. It's a very short jump to get from Great War infantry to normal infantry, might make that a primary focus. Would also be good for us to be able to get battleships, but it really just depends on what we have for oil, because it's more than likely that what we'll need to do, if we do even get a city-state with oil or find some in our own territory, which I highly doubt, we may need a couple of triplanes fighters, etc. We won't be able to build jets until we can get to the recycling plant way up here, because we don't have any aluminum in the country. So that's the plan. Hopefully whatever country we pick to be our ally, maybe we'll get really lucky and they'll have some oil, some aluminum, and some uranium for us. But this is where we stand. The rest of the world is already about here where it comes to technology. Russia is even farther. They're already to here. They've got mechanized infantry roaming around. But that's the plan. We're going to just keep on keeping on for as long as we can. Russia did retake the city. They pulled troops down from the war against India and were able to push back against to retake their city. No more nukes have been dropped yet. They're fighting a normal ground war again, so we should be okay, I think. And then the only other major war going on right now is China, and as you can see, she too has nukes. So, and missiles. Holy cow, she is far ahead. So yeah, that's kind of what we're waiting on. Still waiting to see if Assyria actually has the gonads to fire nukes back into Russia. So, and we'll see how the war against Pocatello goes. Who knows? I'm kind of waiting, because if Assyria and Russia end their war against each other, I'm going to see if I can convince them to, even if they pick, the give us 10 turns to prepare, I'm going to see if I can get Assyria and Russia to both agree to go to war with me against Pocatello, because I really want Skull Valley. I might be getting greedy. It may lead to my untimely death, but those who sit and wait are those where time and life pass them by. So that's what we're doing. And I will be back when something else interesting happens. All right, back again with another update. So, Hiawatha, in between turns, he proposed that we go to war against Pocatello together. And after seriously considering that offer, I decided to say yes, but give me 10 turns. And then afterwards, what I did was Pocatello and most of his army, because it is going to be over here, he's already at war with China. So I reached out to Russia, Korea, and Napoleon as well, and we all now, in 10 turns, are going to go to war against Pocatello. Only I and Korea really have a direct route to them, but I'm hoping that because most of his forces will be busy with China, we shouldn't really have that much difficulty in getting to him. Of course, he does have missiles, which is a real... I mean, if we thought that the gamble against Assyria last time was crazy, I'm even more nervous about what I've just agreed to against Pocatello. So, I will say we have been able to get our troops and everybody into a good position, I think, to defend the country. Russia is no longer a real threat of invasion for us at this point. We are such good friends that I highly doubt that she's ever going to invade us. When we all declare war on Pocatello, as mentioned before, Skull Valley is really the I don't want to say only, but by far the primary objective. We're gonna go send some people down just to take a look and kind of scope it out here. Um, the coal that is here and at the position that the city is in as guardian to this harbor will be very important for us. Um, Not to mention that it already by taking it, we will gain a considerable amount of very defensible territory, and it eliminates us having to defend the south as a potential invasion point without us being able to see, like Pocatello, if he decides he wants revenge. We'll be able to see that coming from a mile away. Um, I'm 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 a little bit nervous about what we are doing. I'm going to get the troops into position. We're going to send the bulk of the army down. The only real thing that I feel is a potential danger, really, and I hope I don't wind up making a fool of myself for thinking this later, but the real danger I see is if Assyria is the one who turns and decides to go to war against us, and as well, because we do not have a very good relationship with each other. We'll still keep these guys as the defenders of the northern border with Russia, just to keep them away, because this area is the hardest for us to defend by our ranged attack. But in the next 10 turns, we are really going to try to chug out as many units as we possibly can. I don't know how fast we can get there, but I'm going to try to have my armies ready, lined up here and ready to go, so that when it kicks off, we will even be able to naval invade. But when this kicks off, I need to have the artillery here ready to go. Even though I didn't train any of our artillery, I didn't give any of them the promotion to be able to do more damage against cities. But I'm really trying to talk myself up into this rather than you guys, because I'm a little nervous that I've made a huge mistake. But no risk, no reward. Let's find out what happens. If anything else happens, I'll update you. But this is I'm a little nervous. I will check back with you once the war actually starts. Another update. In order to not sabotage my reputation with the other empires, the Shoshone just basically forced me to declare war on them way sooner than I had planned. Hopefully, most of their army is over by China, which is good. That's what we were hoping for. And they also built another city in between us and Skull Valley, which was not part of our plan. I just hope that we can live to actually complete our original objectives here, because this was most certainly not how it was supposed to go. Yeah, it's really just going to be a question of who, if anyone, can come to help us. We don't even have really anything over here that we can use to pillage to keep our troops alive. And I split the army so that we could try. Originally, if everything had worked as planned, we were going to try to split the invasion force so that two different parts of the army would have been able to go in at the same time. And of course, that is no longer a viable plan for us either. So Really just going to try to get everybody into a position to take this first city, seize it, and just try to stay alive. We just have to really hope and pray that Pocatello does not have time to get troops over here before the rest of the war can kick off and we can get assistance, especially from the French. We really, really need them to come into this conflict. I'm trying to. Could I bribe you? No. Yeah, I'm trying to survive until everybody else comes into the war. And the biggest thing we need right now is, because I declared war before everybody else could, I need to renew those defensive pacts until everybody else can join in. Yeah, but that's what's happened, because he started this city, and that caused it to make it all of my units appear on his border. I had been trying to stay one space away from his actual border to prevent it triggering the computer asking why there are so many units near their lands. But of course, that happened and it triggered that response. And if I had lied and then we had declared war, that would have been even worse for us, because of how that you become dishonorable or something. It's a negative relationship penalty for other countries, like backstabbing a friend and things like that. So, and I didn't want to do that and risk all of our relationships with everybody else, since we have nothing but green with most of our other order countries. So that's what happened. That's where we are. That's why we are now having to go to war against the against Pocatello way sooner than we had planned. So that's what's happening. If anything happens while in the interim, I'll definitely keep you posted. But that's the state of the state of the world right now. The war has officially kicked off 5 turns, I believe, sooner than it was meant to. And yeah, I will be back with news from the front. All right. It has been so long that I've been going before I can give you another update. We were able to hold back Pocatello's army while waiting for everybody else to come in. Everybody else has since joined the war. We did have this city surrounded, and we were slowly chipping away at it. But while we were fighting on our own, he brought a missile cruiser all the way over from his other territory, and he was able to destroy our artillery units. So what I've done, as you can kind of see a bit here, I pulled our troops back to try and get him to take his armies from here and send them to another part of the front, while we reorganize and get our artillery units ready to go back down again. We are still in the process of that, as you can see right here. We didn't lose very many infantry units. Every time we lost one, another one was essentially already prepared to take its place. But that's essentially what the strategy has been at the moment. Russia is finally sending her troops down, so I'm hoping that will take some of the attention away from us. But she ended her war with Assyria in order to accept the war against Pocatello. Korea did enter the war as well, and I have no idea how that has been going. Hiawatha entered the war. Napoleon entered the war. Napoleon also was able to take Beijing. It was going to happen eventually. We knew China couldn't last forever. Russia ended the war by retaking this town and was able to gain this town as well. She's still fighting and firing nukes at Gandhi and splitting the attention for her own military. But I'm hoping that once she starts to send her artillery units down, we can draw attention away from ours, and still the ultimate goal, what that was supposed to be, all the stage would have been set for us to be able to just launch that invasion I was setting up over here That's not going to work anymore. Pocatello had way more time to prepare than I would have liked him to have. I'm hoping by pulling back, we can lure him into a false sense of security, like he just did with the artillery unit by moving it into the water. He's trying to move units back to Skull Valley because it has an airport. And from there, he's trying to redirect them to different parts of his territory and his country. Pretty much that's what's going on in this war. We're now at the 3.5. Now I've been playing for 3.5 hours. So pretty much what I'm gonna do for the rest of this recording session, because I am exhausted. I'm going to play for 1 more hour. We're gonna call it at 4.5 hours. No matter what's going on in the world, I hope we will at least have taken this one town before we have to call it quits for this episode, because it's going to take me forever to edit this one. Even though I don't even do that much editing. I'm not. I still am learning that part of this whole ordeal. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. All the damage I did to that city has essentially been evaporated in the pulling back strategy. Really, there's nothing else to report. It's just really been a back and forth between myself and Pocatello, and the fact that we have lived at all is impressive, given that they have almost 10 times the manpower in their military that we do. But our position is also a lot better. I did find out from Gandhi that Russia is supposedly still plotting against me, but I don't think she has the ability to really go after me. I think that these troops are all making their way down towards Pocatello. So that's what's happening. That's where the world is right now. Gonna keep going. Hopefully I'll have something good to tell you soon. I will come back when I have more news from the front. I forgot just how time consuming this game really is when you're in the middle of something like this. Yeah, that's basically what's been going on. And hopefully when I come back, we will have taken this town. All right, it's finally time for another update. Thank goodness. We in this next turn, we will finally, even before Russia has been able to send troops down to help, and at great cost to a lot of our units. Although you can see in the meantime, we have finally been able to build some normal infantry units. But we are about to finally take this town. I don't even know if anybody else, any of the other countries have even managed to actually take another settlement anywhere from Pocatello, but at least we finally got one. So we're going to basically just slowly inch these troops a little bit closer. I'm sending this great general down. We're going to use him to steal territory. The real concern I have is not letting Pocatello retake the city and then Russia take it again, so we lose it. That's really what we're trying to do. We lost so many. Oh gosh, I didn't realize just how many until now. We lost so many of our infantrymen. I need to hurry up and start churning more of those out as quickly as possible here. Promote a unit. Promote you to being able to take better cover. Continue to send everybody down. And the other good thing, too, as you saw in taking this settlement, is we were able to take some of the cities that... we were able to kill the artillery unit and the missile cruiser that were both sitting in that settlement. Though they still have this one here, that's my concern really, is I need to get my infantry into position so that we can protect this city from being bombarded and then attacked by this unit. But I'm pretty sure the forest or the mountain will prevent them from being able to get to us in a single turn. I hesitate to move too quickly. Boy, they are just sending settlers everywhere. I hesitate to move too quickly because I don't know what kind of defenses are in this town. But we finally, after an hour and 15 minutes of fighting against Pocatello at this point, at least roughly, we finally have made some progress and have a new city in the country. I'm still going to be recording for about another 15 minutes to hit that 4.5 hour mark. But once we do reach that time, hopefully, even if we haven't taken Skull Valley, which there's no way we're going to be able to actually complete the sack of this city within 15 minutes, but we'll at least have our military in a position where we can finally do something. And the amount of time that I have been recording, because of how small Prism City is and how long it has taken to accomplish every single thing, this is probably going to be amongst the least entertaining episodes of this that we will have done. So little has happened besides long stalemates between myself and Pocatello and Russia and Assyria. Though I will say up here... Oh, did they get close enough to actually take the city? Let's hope not. They did. They shouldn't have been able to move that many times. Well, we'll take it right back. It is unfortunate that we lost an infantry unit to that. I didn't think they would be able to move twice in enemy territory and through a forest and with an adjacent unit. But it is what it is. We can just... each infantry unit costs 910 gold roughly to purchase. So even if we don't have... Oh, that's excellent. Will probably cost us our submarine, but every unit of theirs that we are able to wipe out is better, just better and better. And with this, at least we'll get a little bit of revenge. They may have killed an infantryman, but we will be able to kill a mechanized infantryman as retribution. Let's just take that back right now, because that's exactly what my concern was with Russia's giant death robot being right here. We certainly do not want them to have the ability to swoop in and take this place that we fought so long for. But I don't think they have another unit in the vicinity for them to be able to take this back too quickly. And I will give Russia the right of way to... yeah, that's not within too close of a reach. We're already going to be bombarded no matter what we do, really. Doing like 5, that's more than I expected, to be honest. It's risky to embark units in this conflict, but feel good that we have, at least with our grand navy of 2 submarines and a frigate that's 1,000 years old. We're almost to the point where we will be able to get a battleship once we can get some oil again. But slowly but surely, we just have to hope that Mongolia, or that the Shoshone are focused on Russian units like that. That was a really... That's what gives me a little bit of hope that if we're attacked, that kind of decision making makes me think that we will be okay, at least a little bit. So, pretty much just gonna go ahead with this turn. Gonna keep trying to move our troops down, keep trying to take Skull Valley, or at least get into a position where we can. And then, got about, yeah, now we have 15 minutes left before I've got to force myself to stop recording. So that's what's gonna happen. Oh, balls, I didn't even consider them being able to do that. Ugh. Yeah, there goes another unit and a great general. Ugh. Frustration. Irritation. Hopefully that's the last one, since we're gonna have to do it again. We can't churn out infantry units fast enough to be able to really sustain the war. Yeah, and I can't even purchase one at the moment. I don't have the money to keep doing that. It's a little unfortunate, but luckily, at least in this one, it's a little bit of a consolation that Pocatello has already been asking for a peace deal. So, if things do go too poorly for us, we can always... this is a war where we actually can back out. And then here comes Russia's, at least some of Russia's navy. See, how many times can that city change hands? So we try to send in some of our naval units to help. That was a mistake on my part that I am just now realizing. That our frigate is now definitely going to be destroyed by this, well, more than likely going to be destroyed by this artillery unit. Whoops, that was an accident. And then I was going to use one of our great generals to steal some territory and also set up a defensive position if we have to defend this peninsula later, but because I, for some reason, decided to move that great general into the city before we lost it, that kind of ruins that strategy. It would be great if Russia would actually move their troops down so that we could get a little bit of help and take the attention away from us. In other news, though, Russia has nearly, through absolute nuclear annihilation, has finally nearly finished off India. They've been fighting that war since the start of episode 2. Oh, gosh. And since she's just going ham with the nukes, maybe she'll fire one at Skull Valley, make it a little easier for us to take, although we don't have the technology to scrub away the radiation, but at least it would help us clear a path to get in. The timing for this war was very unfortunate. That, in spite of all the planning and what seemed to be the stars aligning, very unfortunate that Pocatello had to found that city. If all the troops that we were using to fight for Jinju had been available for us to instead go after Skull Valley, we would have captured it by now. But the whole plan that I had, because I knew he would have an airport there by this stage, the whole strategy was to be able to send our troops in and encircle the city so he wouldn't have valid tiles to move troops over. But because of how he made me declare war on him, he got to move first instead of me. So, oh, yeah. Not the one I thought was gonna do it, but still dead nonetheless. Luckily, it doesn't seem as though Pocatello has nuclear weapons of his own. at least yet, or at least that he's using against me. I don't know. Nobody has backed out of the war, though. So I'm a little bit confused on if uh, on blah, blah, what exactly France and Korea and the Iroquois, what have any of them been doing? It's basically been me fighting against Pocatello all on our own all through this conflict. So I'm trying, and just so you're aware of what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to move submarines into position because I know they have nuclear submarines, and it will take two of my, excuse me, I have the hiccups again. It will take two of my normal submarines to be able to kill one of theirs. So we still can't even build that road yet. We can't even get this troop down there without going into the water. You just need to focus on healing yourself. Be able to finally set up a bit of a defensive position and actually start striking back to defend. And hopefully, I'm just going to let everybody recover for the time being and try to get a little bit of their health back before we start moving down. I am afraid that I'm going to have to pause the invasion and the assault that we were doing until I can rebuild at least 5 or 6 of our infantry units, which that's going to take 20 turns. And of course, for no discernible reason, Russia is now pulling her land units away from the front. Got a back and forth confusion with her whole stratagem. What I should have done even was to take our infantry unit out of Jinju just in case they show up with another destroyer to sack it from the city without using a land unit, which I will likely do on the next turn as long as we retain control. Of course. If nothing else, we really need Russia's navy to get in there and distract those ships, or send in that huge fleet of submarines that she has to be able to stop them from being able to bombard my land units. Oh, thank goodness that they did not fire on destroy our other submarines, since it cost a fortune to build each one. Going to go ahead and retreat a little bit. For the love of God, woman. You've got to be joking. How did you even manage to get that unit over here? Where did that come from? Do we have enough to kill it without me having to pull away? I don't even know how I'm able. I don't even know how I'm building a railroad. I don't have coal. That doesn't make any sense, but whatever. More infantry. Oh god, and now it's going to take 5 units to build this one. Get everybody down here. And stay out of the water. We'll leave the city with no units inside, just in case. But this is also good for this exercise is good for me to prepare to know how effective my defensive line is even going to be in case we are defended. Until we can get aluminum and build some more advanced artillery units, at least, really have no choice but to rely on these guys. That's another reason we needed more cities, is to build more recycling plants. Oh shoot, I forgot to buy. Finally have enough money. I forgot to buy it. That's all right. I didn't even know she was still fighting with them. Oh, all right. I thought we were about to be hit from the sky. Apparently not. Yeah. And that is why I didn't even bother doing that in the first place. There we go. Slowly but surely, we are becoming what Venice is most famous for. Extraordinarily wealthy. Well, I guess we'll go after you, since at least it appears that the most number of units can at least hit you and do a little damage. And little is an understatement. One, two, three. Nope, you can't. Now the real question is, can I remember to buy that infantry unit before I click the next turn button? Yeah, we need at least some anti-air, something to do that to protect us. Oh, and just as I was about to say, I still nearly forgot that I need to buy that unit. So expensive, but... Did I just click the wrong one? You've got to be joking. Oh, heavens. Scroll wheel got me good. I have no idea what's going on with Russia and why she's doing this bizarre little pirouette here next to one of our cities. It's assuming that they don't start to wipe the floor with us no matter what happens. We're going to try to keep the conflict going, keep fighting, keep trying to take this city, because I feel it's the coal and the things that and the money and everything. I feel that it is vital. Did they sack and take? They did. So far they have killed 2 city-states. And another one perhaps is about to go. Is it allied with Russia? Indeed it is. Sophia is probably going to be meeting a very similar fate in a very short amount of time. What would that... No. It's not even a point with you. Just go ahead and leave that as it lie. That is not good. Okay. That right there is exactly what I was worried about. I wish that this was sitting on one tile so that I could just move my naval units through it, but nope, that would be way too lucky for us. That city's going to fall again. And we can't get closer yet. We don't have the men and we don't have the range. I don't care about either of these, but just to keep everybody on side. Looks like we'll be holding on to a Gatling gun and later a machine gun for quite a while. It's gonna have to be of some use for how much I paid for it. Thanks, Woo. Really wondering what the rest of the world is doing and if they have actually been of any help and any use in the war over there. Oh, that was unexpected. Perhaps I spoke too soon about the city falling. Mongolia doesn't even have any cities left for anybody to trade from. I don't know what the objective or what the point was for Russia to even propose that. They have absolutely nothing at this point. Let's see if we can't. Can we kill it? Yes, we can. All right. This is great. It's still not the best scenario. How much would it cost us? Oh, we don't. We don't have any oil still. Russia must have a lot of oil. Ugh. If she wasn't using it all. Do you have any oil? You do. So what do we think about that? What do we think about that? No. No. What do we think about this? What do we think about this? Oh, jeez, and he's one of the people we have some of the best relations with. And he may be our only option, unless Korea has some oil. One. What do you think about giving me one? Great, one is all we needed. Very spendy. Yeah, but it's really we have no alternative. I need to have at least one thing that we can use to bombard land units from this side to try and at least do enough damage to clear some of the path ahead. The next thing will be moving. We really need. You're gonna have to switch places. We need these two units to kill and clear the way ahead around the Skull Valley. I've already gone over what I said I was when I said I was going to stop. Things finally got interesting now that I've been playing 4.5 hours. And to get our own oil, I have been using the spy that, going with that plan from earlier. I have a spy who is hopefully slowly eating away at Prague with their influence. They are. They were at 156 influence, but we've slowly but surely been trying to do a little damage. No. I won't let it happen. Not again. Okay. This turn is going to be the last turn. I'm going to make myself stop playing. I can do it. I have self-control. I've got another infantry unit. Can send them over here, start sending them down, slowly rebuilding the army. Yes, build the railroad. We need it to connect. Just keep the city safe while we keep moving troops down. 2, 3, that still wouldn't have reached anyway. But that would, so we'll swap you around. And then send you here. Now hopefully that that isn't able just to one-shot my battleship. That would be devastating for how expensive that unit was. Oh, and I said that this was going to be my last turn, and I clicked next turn anyway. Okay, the next turn. That's for sure going to be the last turn. I'm a damn dirty liar. I said that I had self-control. Nobody's made peace yet, though, which is... I wonder if... I wish that there was a spectator mode in Civ 5, because I really wish that I could see what's behind the fog of war and find out what the... what all of those troops are doing, or if really the bulk of the war that is going on right now is between just us and Pocatello. Oh, you slag. Ugh. So many defensive pacts. Surprised we haven't been able to get a great admiral yet either. Let's just do a little bit of this. A little of that. And then, just in case, you will have to evacuate. For the love of God, Russia. Oh. Going to make absolutely certain that all of our defensive pacts are still in place. Otherwise, when we start the next game, or the next episode, I should say, that will absolutely slip my mind. Okay. Despite how difficult it is, I'm gonna call this the last turn. Yeah, God, I've been recording for way too long, almost 5 hours now. 4 hours and 40 minutes and 52 seconds. Holy cow. Okay, state of the world. The war is going all right. We've added a city we didn't even want, but we've got it. Skull Valley is almost within grasp. We're rebuilding our military. Virtually everybody in the world is at war with Pocatello at my insistence and request. They've killed most of the city-states that were allied with everybody else that were near their borders. Somewhere over here, I would hope or assume that Korea, Napoleon, and Hiawatha must all, I would hope, be out here contributing to the war effort. But even if they haven't been, we have done incredible all on our own. We can do bad all by ourselves. So, if I needed to negotiate peace, I still would be able to at any point. I could propose a flat peace deal at any time and get out of this war. So, we're going to keep pushing forward, keep rebuilding the infantry units, and try to take Skull Valley. And once we can finally get that city, that's the point where, if the war is going well, if anybody else takes any settlements from Pocatello by that point, we'll probably keep pushing. They've got an island over here somewhere that I haven't looked at either yet, but we'll keep pushing, keep trying to take more territory. It's almost a bit of a hindrance in our ability to produce culture as Venice to continue expanding, but in order to have more trade routes, more valuable resources, I'm praying that somewhere in the territory that we are taking, we come across uranium. Since Catherine already has giant death robots, I mean, if she declared war on us at this point, I don't think there's anything I could do whatsoever to be able to survive against that. We basically have to keep Russia distracted, fighting every other country we can get her to fight so she doesn't fight us. I thought that she had been put onto the back foot when she was fighting against Assyria, though they do seem to be a fairly formidable fighting force against Russia. Oh, and I could even bribe him to go to war with Russia just to kick it back off with her. 6 gold per turn. If we were friends. I almost want to do that. We'll consider that for the next episode. Basically, if everybody's fighting everybody else, hopefully that means nobody will fight us. Because we would not be able to survive against any of them. So that's where we're going to leave it. When it comes to the state of the world, China's been eliminated. India's almost eliminated. Us, Russia, Napoleon, the Iroquois, and Korea now are all sort of a 5-part alliance. We have I have at least a direct declaration of independence, a declaration of friendship, and a defensive pact with all of them. So I feel like we're at least safe enough that if the computer takes defensive pacts into account, that should keep them away from us, and I believe that they do. I know they did in Civ 4, but I don't know about Civ 5. I would assume so. So that's what's happening. That's where we are. We've got a Gatling gun that nobody wanted, but now we all have. And I think that's it. So I will be back next week. The next week's episode will probably be a bit shorter as I will be preparing to fly back home. I'm currently in Utah at the moment, but I actually live in Belize. Um, so there may be a bit of a shorter episode, but there will be an episode nonetheless. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the response to the last video. Um, that number of views may not seem like that much, but for really just getting started, I'm couldn't be happier. So yeah, thank you again, and I will be back next week.